St. Patrick's Day is March 17th, and it's a chance for all New Yorkers to feel a little bit Irish. Thousands of people are gathered here at the toy fair, viewing and playing with toys, but they still want to know which toys are educational.
These kids are getting their first look at the Children's Museum of Manhattan's new exhibit, America to Zanzibar, which focuses on promoting cultural learning and inclusion.
For us, it was more just appreciating different cultures around the world and our Muslim neighbors. I mean, 1 in 10 New York City public school students identify as Muslim.
The exhibit at the Upper West Side Museum features paintings, artifacts, fabrics, and interactive games that teach children about the Muslim culture.
We have 360-degree panoramic images, and the children look at the touchscreen squirrel, and they're like, where do I want to go in the world today? They tap on it, and it appears on like an 8-foot high screen. They're literally transported into mosques around the world.
Angie from Brooklyn is visiting the museum for the first time. She says the exhibit is helpful in explaining the Muslim culture to her son.
Just the opportunity for the kids to interact with different types of things that they would see every day. So like the Pakistani school bus or the clothing tree that they have over there that they can play with. So it's really hands-on.
It's a way to, at an early age, begin to understand that people are similar and different from one another and to appreciate that.
Martin says the exhibit will be on display for at least a year. Ozzie Gooden, New York City, The Ink. Today is the Yankees home opener, and fans from New York City and around the world come here, not only for the game, but for a chance to ride this. The vintage Yankee train has been taking fans to the home opener since 1917, according to the MTA. The train runs from Grand Central Station to the Yankee Stadium.
I wanted to catch this train and got very lucky. It feels old school. It feels like a piece of history.
The train is decorated with advertisements and pictures reminiscent of the 19th century, bringing back childhood memories for some.
Looking this way back and being here for the first time in 1917, this is really a vintage car.
For Mark Robson, who traveled over 3,000 miles from Scotland, the train is just a bonus. What he really wants is a home run.
I'm looking forward to a Yankees win and just to see the players in the flesh and really enjoy it.
No matter the outcome, it's still a win. Ozzie Gooden, New York City, The Ink.
Lin-Manuel Miranda, Hamilton.
It was a record-breaking day for Hamilton, a hip-hop musical about the Founding Fathers. The Broadway show was nominated for 16 Tony Awards, the most in Broadway history.
So seismic. Hamilton. It's not since Oklahoma in 1943 has the world changed in front of your very eyes.
While the cast of Hamilton may be celebrating their nominations, no one seemed happier than the cast of The Color Purple.
It's been a wonderful day to find out that we got nominated for 4 Tonys. Absolutely amazing.
According to the Broadway League, The Color Purple has raked in $20 million, while Hamilton surpassed the Lion King's record, generating over $68 million in sales.
The diversity this year is just fantastic.
Critics say there wouldn't be much diversity this year if it weren't for minorities like Lin-Manuel, the creator of Hamilton, who made it a priority to cast minorities in his work.
He was able to make sure and make it that it was a cast of all people of color.
While the musicals are becoming more diverse, the price of the tickets still limits who can afford to see them. Ozzie Gooden, New York City, The Ink.
You know what they say, that the black, it don't crack. You want a little, don't you? They say you'll never go back.
Ashley Brockerton has a big personality. She's provocative yet funny, but the confident woman you see wasn't always this way.
All of my early work, it was based around black girlness and self-esteem, because I'm constantly trying to reconcile or understand where and how my self-esteem got damaged.
Ashley says her self-hatred was fueled by lack of diversity in the media.
All of the girls that I thought were pretty looked like Brooke Shields and, Suzanne Summers. There was no one in pop culture who was telling you, oh, pretty girls can look like you.
And it was reinforced in her community.
They treated me like Black Becky. The white people would say things like this to me: you don't sound black. They would compliment you by being like them, sounding like them, being able to fit in like them. So I didn't know that was an insult until I got to be older and looked back.
Ashley grew up in a suburb outside of New York City with her parents, former Green Bay Packers player John Brockington and former local news anchor Jackie Brockington. After their divorce, John remarried.
I have issues with my father, and so I thought I'd write a play. Daisies are yellow, lilies are white, just like your wife and every girlfriend you ever had since divorcing my mother, my black mother. Why do you hate black women, Dad? That's challenging, and the fact that you have to kind of keep coming up with new material.
Ashley is one of several neo-futurists. They write and perform plays about their lives.
You know what's great about fucking faggots? I didn't know about my asshole before Hunza. I mean, I knew it was there, I just didn't know what it was capable of. Married at 23, widowed at 34. I had 11 great years. We were friends that married. At first, just to be able to keep him kind of like here, because he was Czech. But we ended up staying together and remaining family and lovers eventually.
After losing the love of her life to AIDS, Ashley didn't think she could love again until Ida captured her heart.
Ida's my life partner. You know what I mean? Like my other. She's taught me how to communicate, you know, on different levels, emotional communication. My relationship with Ida, it's a blessing.
Her mom welcomed Ida into the family, but initially was confused by Ashley's sexuality.
There was a moment where she was like, oh, are you okay? You know.
However, Ashley really identifies as queer.
The word queer is flexible enough to encompass my own experience of my own sexuality. And so I have never only slept with women.
Ashley's father, on the other hand, doesn't approve of her sexuality, nor her relationship with Ida.
It's like when I invited him, when he comes to New York, and I was like, oh my God, me and Ida are gonna cook for you. We're gonna make the best meals, because we do a lot of cooking here. And he was just like, oh my God, do not expect me to come over to your home and eat with a bunch of fucking lesbians.
Despite all of this, Ashley still wants a relationship with her dad.
I call him a coward in my play. I really do think he's a coward. I think he's an emotional coward. It's so sad, because he's so charming and funny, and we have a lot in common. And I love him. I love him. Excuse me. I love my dad. I love him more than, he's my dad.
One thing's for sure, Ashley's love for her father will persist. She'll keep doing what she does best, making art with her pain. Ozzie Gooden, New York City, The Ink.